Hello and welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to look at a Lovatts cryptic crossword. As always, I'll say that this is a fairly good beginner cryptic crossword. It's relatively straightforward, relatively approachable. If you want to have a go yourself, then the link is in the description. That being said, let's get started. So we're looking today at Monday the 5th of May. Lovatts does have a 7-day, 7-day archive, so you can do a couple, you can do a few in a go. Okay, and just a reminder, we've got the rules of cryptic crosswords up on the screen. A cryptic crossword is generally going to have two different clues hidden in the same clue. There'll be a few exceptions, but yeah, mostly that's the case. So let's see what we've got. Advocate, heard, recommend, speech. So advocate, heard, recommend, speech. The word speech there is indicating a homophone. So we've got the two parts of this clue are straight definition, like a normal words crossword, and a homophone plus a homophone indicator. Speech indicating that something is said out loud is a homophone, and then the phrase recommend is a homonome is our fodder for the sound alike. So recommend. Ooh. One of the reasons why Lovatts is very good for beginners is it gives you clue by clue descriptions or hints as to whether that is right or not. So you saw then where I had where I'd spelt the word recommend incorrectly. Then it wasn't showing as green. It now is. And this is locked. I couldn't change this E even if I wanted to. So yeah, recommend, which means advocate. Okay, and that gives us 5 crossing letters as well, so that's a good start. Are you Mr. Guevara or a lace frill? Are you Mr. Guevara or a lace frill? So a lace frill could be a ruff. Mr. Guevara is likely to refer to Che Guevara. Are you? Okay, so actually I think we've got some homophones, there we go, homophones in this. I'm going to say that another word for a ruff is a ruche, I'm going to guess it's pronounced. So we've got a lace frill being our ruche. We've got the letters R and U given by the words R and U. And Mr. Guevara is likely to be Che, and that does give ruche. Now, it's an odd word, so I am going to look it up, but I think that is what we're going to see. Let's look it up in the dictionary, and what do we have? We have a frill. Just move me down here. We do have ruche being a frill or pleat of fabric. A lace frill seems very appropriate for that. And that again shows another good thing about cryptic crosswords. You don't need to understand both parts of the clue to get the answer. If you understand one part well enough that you're happy that it's correct, you don't need the other side. Sometimes parsing which bits of the clue are which is difficult, but yeah. So what we've got here then, we've got a C to start with 5 letters. Recommend former husband left, excited, when commended for bravery. Commended for bravery. Former husband sounds like an ex. Former. I might come to that when we've got an extra crossing letter. Fetch, middle section, and so on. Okay, so again, we've got a definition and a piece of wordplay here. Our definition here is going to be and so on, which doesn't feel like which feels like an odd definition. And then our wordplay is fetch middle section. So here we're going to take the middle section of the word fetch, knock off the F, knock off the H, and get ETC, etc., or so on. Stacy calm, though upset by disaster. So here, I'm guessing that the word upset is an anagram indicator. And it's worth noting that Stacy calm is 9 letters. So can we think of a disaster that is 9 letters? Because of the Y, I was thinking cyclone, but I don't think that works. I've been watching a lot of Ladybug and Cat Noir recently because of the 6-year-old. So let's go with cataclysm, which is a type of disaster. In fact, it's not even a type of disaster, it's just a disaster. That does give us a T there. Let's see if we can get another one because we didn't like it a minute ago. Feudal period is a time for 40-year-olds. Because it started with M, my initial thought was middle age, which kind of works actually in, sorry, middle age is the answer. My initial thought was medieval, which works for feudal period but doesn't work for 40-year-olds. Given that it's 6 letters and 4 and not all 1, and I think it's the wrong number of letters anyway for medieval, but middle age does look to work, or middle ages. If you're 40 years old, you're in your middle ages. Feudal period was the Middle Ages. Former husband left, excited when commended for bravery. Okay, yeah, no. So I was thinking that former husband was an X. What we're saying here, an X is going to leave the word excited, and that gives us the word cited, which means commended for bravery. Okay, this corner's going quite well so far. Building added on to some Chilean tower. So the word some here, if you ever see anything that is talking about some of something, part of something, a bit of something, the centre of something, you're probably looking at taking a section of letters. So here, Chilean tower, we can get from that, we've got the L already as a crossing letter, we can get the phrase lean to, it's a hidden clue in the phrase Chilean tower, and that means a building, it's a type of building. Should we go with this, E down. Swollen glands contained the old dart. I mean, again, contained is a word that can make you look for a hidden. And in swollen glands, we happen to have England. The old dart. I've never heard England referred to as the old dart, but I was sure enough that I was happy to put it in. Put into action and appointed as agent. Put into action and appointed as agent. So here, both put into action and appointed as agent both feel like they're reasonable definitions. The word into makes me think that we're going to put the word put into action. We've got that T there already. So if we have put there, and we want a 4-letter word for action that goes around it. If you do an action and you do a deed, the word deputed, I assume that means exactly the same as deputized, but means you're appointed as an agent. Okay, 7 letters starts with a P. Use beeper. Paged? To cool colony worker to spectacle. Okay, so use beeper is right in saying that it's page, but it's not going to be our definition. It's part of our wordplay. And then use beeper to cool, sorry, is page. Colony worker is an ant, and that gives us pageant, which means spectacle. Half the vicarage in a violent mood. Okay, so half the vicarage. If we take half of the word vicarage, we'll take just a block of letters. We've already got that G, so we can see that we might want rage, which is a violent mood. Construct roughly even crying dump. Okay. Construct roughly even crying dump. So the word even in there, what if we take the even letters of either construct roughly or crying dump? We've got this R here. So I would guess that we can take the even letters R, I, G, U, P from crying dump. That gives us rig up, which means construct. If you construct something, you rig it up. Give subsidy to Hugh. Give subsidy to Hugh. Grant? Yes, it's double definition here. So this is one where it's not definition and wordplay. If you give a subsidy, you give a grant. And Hugh grant. Hugh's an example of a grant. So that works. Take leading role in arts reform. So there's a couple of different things I note here. My first read through, leading, that can often mean the leading letter of something, either the T or the R. And that's a very we've got a T here. Take leading role in arts reform. We've got a T there, but useful in ideas as that might be, I think that's taking us down the wrong path here. If instead we take the word arts and we reform it, we anagram it, we can get star. If you star in something, you take the leading role, so that feels good. Fades away when O'Toole's not at home. So O'Toole makes me think of Peter O'Toole. There's something. Okay, so if O'Toole is not at home, then that would be the same as Peter is out. He's not at home. Peter O'Toole is out. So we can just have Peter's out, which means fades away. All right, we've got two crossings here. Placido. Now that's a very odd collection of letters. So I have two thoughts there. One, we're going to anagram something. And two, we could be talking about a name, Placido Domingo, one of the three tenors. And the fact that we've got a D and an O at the start and end makes that pretty reasonable. Placido seldom in goggles when inside. Okay, so inside here, we're looking at a phrase that's inside, seldom in goggles. And we've got the D-O-M-I-N-G-O, so it is Domingo. Where should we go here? Let's take the N because it starts. Light knife, Spooner requested for evening activities. So there's a thing called a spoonerism, which is when you take a phrase and you switch the first sound of the phrase over. So light knife, we're going to take the L and the N and switch them over. So light knife becomes night life. We're not going to spell out the same, obviously. And nightlife meaning evening activities. They don't have to be spelt the same. It's homophone sounds only. They have to sound the same. But yeah, you can look those up online. There's a number of famous ones. The one that's always used as an example is the dear old Queen gets switched around to become the queer old Dean. Anxious to hug Brad White. Sorry. You can see what my first thought is. Anxious to hug Pitt wildly. So my first thought is Pitt with the capital P. That's probably referring to Brad Pitt. But actually, the word wildly afterwards makes me think this is an anagram. Now, it could be an anagram of Brad and something, but the fact that we've got a T here that we know makes me think that Brad wouldn't fit. So hug pit, well, if we just take that and anagram it, if you're anxious, then you're uptight. Short one, that's probably quite easy, hopefully. Ice cream container, 3 letters, tub, to bathe in, bathtub, yeah. Again, that's kind of double definition, much longer than our previous one. And my first thought with a clue that isn't 2 or 3 words long is not usually is this a double definition, but it was in this case. Embark on British Empire spirit. So the British Empire can be shortened to BE, OBE, MBE, Order of the British Empire, Member of the British Empire. And a spirit, rather than being a ghost, without rum or whiskey or gin, put gin in, we get begin, which does mean to embark on, to start. Heard first person, vocalise Melanie Frost. Okay, so heard here is a homophone indicator, something that sounds like something else. And we had one of those earlier where it just very clearly had the phrase that was in there. So first person melody. If you're going to make a melody, you're going to sing it, and if it's in the first person, it's, if I was saying that in the first person, I would say I sing. And a clue is, so you would say I sing. The definition here is frost. If you've got something with frost on it, it's got icing on it. So yes, sounds the same, spelt different. Sing about matter of slight knowledge. So sing about, we had the I, so I immediately wonder if we're just putting the word sing around that. Matter, actually we've got the M and the T, what if we just put matter in, then we get smattering. Oh, that's interesting. I would have thought that smattering was more general than just being knowledge based. I would have thought that smattering was a small amount of anything, but let's have a look. Smattering, yeah, to have slight or superficial knowledge, yeah, perfect. I mean, down here, slight or superficial, it can presumably mean a small amount of anything, but yeah, in this case, exactly that. I'm actually going to move over here, I think, now. We've got 3 crossing letters here. Terra firma, confused Dr. Dylan. Dylan, I'm thinking Bob, but confused, I'm thinking anagram. Terra firma is too many letters. Dr. Dylan is 7 letters. So we can anagram that to dry land. Ta-da. Makes random selection to sketch openings for coins. Make a random selection. Oh, okay, I've got this. So if you were to sketch something, you would draw it. An opening for coin. If you've got a slot machine, the slot is referring to the place where you put the money. So draw slots becomes draws lots, which is making a random selection. Okay, I do like short ones where we've got a letter. So lay by Eva's back. So lying behind someone called Eva. So the word back here makes me think we're switching a word around. First letter goes to the end, second letter goes toward the end, that sort of thing. We've got the word Eva's, so we can put the word save in there. Now in its normal usage to rescue something, it doesn't really make sense, but I think the word lay Can that mean... can that mean, like, to conserve something? If you lay something aside, you save it. Save it aside. Yeah, I think I can make that work as a definition. And it is right anyway. Again, the wordplay there was really useful. If we had the definition only, without any crossing letters, I think we would struggle with that. Essential to have 6 thanks L. Something is essential. So the word 6 there, we've got a V. Roman numerals, 6 becomes VI, 5 and 1. Thanks. So if we're saying that 6 is the start of our wordplay, then probably everything after that is also wordplay, or else if the bit before it was wordplay, they'd be in the wrong order. So thinks 6, thanks L. Thanks, we can say tar and L. While it's a 4-letter name, there's a homophone. Just put the letter L in. That gives us vital, which does mean essential. Rent follows banana or personality. Rent follows banana or personality. I might have to come back to that one. I don't see that offhand. Supply weapons. We've got a something arms. That feels like arm. To others at side of sofa. Okay, side of sofa with that makes me think that it's arm rest. And if you've got other people, they are the rest. So that feels likely. T. Centre of theatre at Edinburgh. Okay, centre of theatre at Edinburgh. Treated? Provided with luxury. Yes, treated. Again, that's a hidden clue. We got in the middle of theatre at Edinburgh. T-R-E-A-T-E-D. Okay. I don't think we've tried this one yet. Derek rang about forest shade. About, again, feels like it's going to be an anagram indicator. And a forest shade, a colour you would see in the forest, would be dark green, which is a anagram of Derek rang. Okay, making some progress. Crusade to renovate. Second-hand vehicle. To renovate again is a anagram indicator. So a second-hand vehicle is going to be a used car. Excellent. That's a lot of E's to cross on. Degenerates without dates. Okay, so similar to one earlier. We can take the word dates out of degenerates, which degenerates without dates go back on promise. Okay, so also we're not just taking dates out, we're also taking the word backward. So R-E-N-E-G-E, renege, which is it does mean to go back on promise. That's an interesting one actually, because go back here is therefore doing double duty. It's part of the definition, but it's part of the wordplay as well. Okay. Far-flung outpost. 7 letters for outpost. Far-flung, flinging things around, could be anagram indicator. Chooses not to be included. It does feel likely that that's out, doesn't it? Out. Out. Oh, no, it's not out. It's op. Or it is out, but not there. It's ops out. Got this one. Origin of heartless robot. So if we take the word robot here, that's not our definition. We're going to make it heartless. We're going to take the centre letter, the heart, out of it. I'm going to get root, which means origin. And we've just got one here that we tried before. Rent follows banana or personality. Okay, and with the letters that we've got there, we can see that, well, is kind of a triple definition. You can split the rent. You can have a banana split. You can get a split personality. So split is our answer. Excellent. Did that in 27 minutes, but while talking it through and taking a phone call in the middle. So it doesn't feel like it's too bad time, considering, but it's not going to be a world beater on this. It needs to be about sort of, you can do it in 15 minutes, you probably get about halfway in the pack. What we got here? Oh, it's quite a new one, it looks like. So yeah, 175th out of 183rd. Normally it's several thousand, but yeah, didn't do. We got there. We didn't do particularly well in terms of standing. Okay, well, that was good fun. If you like what you see, do follow or subscribe, and we'll see you next time for the next crossword.